Have you ever just stopped and wondered, how does my favorite app know me so well? How does it know what I want to see next? Well, today we're going to pull back the curtain on that secret sauce. We're talking about the recommendation systems that basically run our digital lives.
All right, let's just frame the problem here, because it's a big one. Think about Netflix. You open it up, and there are literally millions of options. So how in the world does it cut through all that noise to find that one perfect movie for your Friday night?
And hey, it's not just Netflix, right? The scale here is, well, it's just insane. Take YouTube. We're talking billions of videos. Billions! It's the definition of information overload. And these recommendation systems, they're basically our personal guides trying to lead us through this digital mountain of content.
So how do they actually pull it off? What's the magic? Well, you might be surprised to hear that this super complex technology, it all boils down to two really big and actually kind of simple ideas. Okay, so here they are. On one hand, you've got collaborative filtering. Think of this as learning from the crowd. And on the other hand, there's content-based filtering, which is all about learning from the stuff itself. Let's break down what that actually means in plain English.
All right, first up, collaborative filtering. This one is probably the one you'd come up with if you had to design it yourself. It's super intuitive. The whole idea is people who like X also tend to like Y. It's just like asking a friend for a movie recommendation. You know, that one friend who has the exact same taste as you? If you both geeked out over The Matrix and they tell you, oh my God, you have to see Interstellar, chances are you're gonna like it. The system is just doing that, but with millions of friends.
Okay, now let's flip the coin and look at content-based filtering. This approach totally ignores the crowd. It doesn't care what other people are watching. Instead, it looks at let's call it the DNA of the content itself. It's all about the features. So if you just finished watching Inception, the system doesn't look for people who also liked Inception. No, it looks at the movie's features. Christopher Nolan, sci-fi, mind-bending plot, and then it finds other movies with similar features, like Tenet. It's basically a big game of matching tags.
So these two ideas sound pretty solid, right? You've got crowd wisdom and content DNA, but they both have a huge Achilles heel, a giant flaw. What happens when you sign up for a new service? The system knows absolutely nothing about you. It has zero data. It's totally flying blind.
And let me tell you, the stakes could not be higher. For these companies, this is everything. The source material is super blunt about it. If the recommendations suck, people churn. They're gone. You get exactly one shot to make a good first impression, and if you show them a bunch of junk, they're not coming back.
This classic problem, this flying blind issue, actually has a name. It's called the cold start problem. And it's not just about new users who have no history. Think about it. It also applies to brand new movies or songs just added to the platform. They have no ratings, no views yet. So how do you recommend something nobody's seen?
So how do you get around this? Well, engineers have some pretty clever tricks up their sleeves. The simplest one? They just ask you, pick a few genres you like. Or maybe they'll use some basic info like your age and location to make an educated guess. For new items, they can fall back on that content-based filtering we talked about, or, just show what's popular or trending to get the ball rolling and start collecting that crucial data.
Okay, so the cold start problem, it's a hurdle, but it's solvable. But that brings us to the next massive challenge, and this one is about pure, raw scale. We said YouTube has billions of videos, right? And it has hundreds of millions, if not billions, of users. Trying to calculate a personalized score for every video, for every user, in real time? Forget about it. It's just computationally impossible. You'd need a supercomputer the size of a planet.
So the solution that places like YouTube and Netflix landed on is this really elegant, super efficient system. It's a two-stage pipeline. And this is the secret to how they can give you those lightning-fast, personalized recommendations without, literally breaking the internet.
It's pretty straightforward, really. The pipeline has two main steps. The first step is called candidate generation. Think of this as the fast and wide part. And that's followed by the second step, ranking. This is the slow and precise part. And you can really see how this works right here. It's like a giant funnel. You start with that massive ocean of billions of items. The first stage, candidate generation, just slashes that number down, bringing you to a much more manageable pool of maybe a few hundred promising candidates. Then, and only then, does the second stage, ranking, kick in to meticulously pick the top 10 from that small group. It's an incredibly efficient way to filter things down.
So let's look closer at stage 1, candidate generation. The name of the game here is speed, not accuracy, speed. It uses really fast, pretty simple models to just do a quick scan of everything. Its only job is to say, okay, out of all the billions of things we have, here's a short list of maybe 1,000 that might be relevant. It's a rough cut, a broad sweep.
And then we get to stage 2, ranking. This is where the real brain power is. This is where the heavy lifting happens. Because the system is only looking at a few hundred items now instead of billions, it can afford to bring out the big guns, the really powerful, complex, computationally expensive models. It goes through that shortlist and scores every single one to find the absolute best of the best for you in that exact moment.
Okay, so we have this amazing, efficient two-stage system for finding stuff you like. Awesome. But that brings up a much deeper, almost philosophical question. Is the best recommendation really just the one you're most likely to click on? Is that the only goal? Or is there more to it? And this is where we get into this fundamental tension that exists in every single recommendation system out there. It's this delicate balancing act between two ideas, exploitation and exploration. Basically, it's the choice between showing you more of what you already love versus showing you something brand new that you might love.
So, exploitation is pretty much what it sounds like. It's the safe bet. The system knows you love watching sci-fi movies from Christopher Nolan, so it shows you another one. It's a high probability win, right? It's exploiting the knowledge it has about you to serve up something it's almost certain you're going to like. But then you have exploration, and this is all about discovery. This is when the system takes a little risk. It might recommend, say, an obscure indie sci-fi film from a director you've never heard of. It's a riskier recommendation, for sure, but it's so important. It's how the system learns more about you, and it's how it keeps you from getting stuck in that dreaded filter bubble where you just see the same type of thing over and over again. And that really brings us back to the big question, doesn't it? What is the real goal of a recommendation system? Is it just to give you more of what you want? To be a perfect mirror of your existing tastes? Or should it be a window, helping you discover that next favorite song or movie you didn't even know existed? The truth is probably somewhere in the middle, and it's definitely something to think about the next time you let the algorithm decide for you.